Tyler Henry, is he real? Is he fake? That's what we're going to try and hopefully find out by the end of this video. If you don't know who Tyler Henry is, he's basically Hollywood's clairvoyant, right? Blown to popularity by Netflix and, you know, the series that they did on that. You know, he's basically... They've made a whole show about him where he basically goes around to different celebrities and does psychic readings just for celebs. And to me, it's a little bit fishy, right? Psychics to me have always been a bit of a hit and miss topic anyway. At one point, I was strongly with psychics, but then I turned out to be absolutely wrong. And now I've got a bit of a bitter taste left in my mouth from psychic mediums, and I just don't... I don't have 100% faith in clairvoyancy or, you know, psychic mediumship. I just don't. But Tyler Henry is an American reality TV personality who appears on the reality Hollywood series Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry and Life After Death with Tyler Henry, which of course, I think this is the one that aired on Netflix. Critics state that Henry's readings are performed using deceptive cold reading and hot reading techniques and not psychic powers, right? So that's just literally, that's on the cover of his Wikipedia page. All right, and he's gone on to make quite a career with himself. He appeared on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where he gave readings to the Kardashian sisters in 2016. It premiered on E! And in March 2016, it was announced that E! Had ordered the second season of the show that he had, which was Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry. So he's basically this Hollywood celebrity clairvoyant, right? We already know that. Here's a little snapshot of him doing a alleged psychic reading at least. And you're going to notice some very weird behaviors and techniques used.
I mean, I know to some extent a little about obviously how your brother passed in, you know, the media. When he came through, I had to focus on every message exactly as he was delivering it. I couldn't make any guesses, I couldn't have any assumptions. I had to make sure that I was communicating exactly what he was showing me so that I wasn't biased with what I already knew about the case. He's having me acknowledge that when it came to his passing, and anyone around right before or right after, there's a feeling of someone's story changing, of someone saying, I saw him go through this, you know, this happened, and then their story changes like abruptly after. Okay. There's a very strong emphasis on this.
Now, I find it, obviously that was just a small snippet. I can't show full episodes and stuff like that, which is unfortunate because I would like to kind of like point out some kind of irregularities and stuff, but I would literally just get copyrighted on every video that I show, which just doesn't do it any good, but that's just the world that we live in. But, you know, what I've always found weird, and I've watched a few long episodes on YouTube and on stuff like this to try and research for this video to get myself up to speed with this Tyler Henry. And what I discovered was that he says a whole lot of nothing, right? And what I mean by that is he will throw generic stuff out, which is typical of psychic mediums, obviously, to try and get that emotional bite. And then obviously the TV show will just hone in on that emotional bite. And it'll be like he'll throw something out and he'll read the responses that he's getting. And if it's like, if he gets like a bit of a stronger response to one thing than another, he'll throw out like 3 or 4 different phrases. And anything that gets a little nibble hones in on it. Bang, 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 right? But anything that doesn't, he doesn't really throw out on. But also, let's not forget the caliber of people that he's interviewing, right? So he's talking with very, very well-known celebrities. And these celebrities, it's not exactly hard to do a lot of research on someone prior to meeting them, okay? Like, if you're going to go and meet with Megan Fox, for example, her whole life has been on TV. Her whole life has been in the media spotlight. Like, you can easily research someone's good and bad stuff, even stuff that they may not think is on the internet, but is on the internet, right? There's probably stuff on the internet about me that I don't even know about because that's just how the internet works, right? So it's not exactly hard to find nuggets of information that you can use to be like, oh, I'm getting something. Your deceased brother is telling me that, you know, you had a stuffed animal that looked like a chihuahua back in the day, am I right? And they're like, yes. Or like, it might not even be as specific as that. It might be like, you had a stuffed animal when you were a child, and they're like, yes. I mean, that's quite a generic thing. It's quite easy to throw that kind of sentiment out, like fish that one out and then just reel them in. Like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Yes, I had a stuffed animal when I was a child. It was a chihuahua. Yes, he was telling me that it was a dog. And then it's like, oh, right, you know, like that shit just genuinely happens on the show. It's crazy. But he does kind of throw out a lot of vague answers to try and get a little emotional hit. And then when he hits it, runs with it. And then before you know it, the show's running. But there have been a lot of articles that have come out with proof that Tyler Henry is just a fraud, right? And it's quite saddening because obviously clairvoyancy is something that's quite touchy. It's quite a touchy subject because obviously, you know, people go to clairvoyance to talk about their lost loved ones, gives them a bit of faith and hope in the afterlife, and you know, it's like a message from beyond, right? And it's like linking the bridge between life and death with clairvoyancy. But I mean, most people just see it for profit. Anyway, so this article came out from Nikki Swift, and it says Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium, may not be the medium clairvoyant or a medical intuitive he says he is. Henry, born Tyler Henry Colwyn, claims that he was 10 years old and he predicted his grandmother's death. And ever since, he's been able to communicate with the dead. On his reality show, which debuted in January of 2016, Henry and his mum travel to Los Angeles, where he visits celebrities' homes to connect with the deceased loved ones. We find it hard to believe that this young man supposedly knows nothing about the celebrities he meets with on his hit series. Did he not have a television, radio, or internet while growing up in Fresno, California? On top of that, he clearly uses the exact same tricks as every other celebrity medium before him, e.g. vague predictions, steering clear of controversial topics, and having a tendency to lean on subject personal tragedies as an alleged means of emotional manipulation. In other words, the Hollywood medium is totally fake, and here are all the reasons why. So, he's the carrot top of clairvoyance. When Henry did a reading for Matt Lauer on the Today Show in August of 2016, he was given a pocket knife to assist his senses. Who's likely to carry one of those? An old relative, perhaps? Henry proceeds to reference declining health, an easy guess. Then he says the person wanted to die at home, which is also a very common request. Lauer reveals that Henry must be referencing his father, who passed away in 1997 at home in hospice care. Next, Henry brings up his coin collection. I have a couple of silver dollars from him, but not a lot, Lauer offers. Henry then conveniently changes the collection to 3 coins and says 1 coin might be missing. How many do you have? He asks Lauer. I think I have 2, Lauer replies. Let's keep in mind that this veteran news anchor knows they need to put on a good segment, right? So this is what it's all about. The rest of the reading is fairly uneventful, especially in retrospect, considering Henry also failed to give Lauer even the slightest heads up about the career-shattering scandal in his very near future. Oof. He's not exactly digging up ancient memories, all right? You know, you can pause it and read this. I'm not going to go through it all because you'd get bored. He has ESP, and so can you. You know, he met with the reality star Khloe Kardashian for a reading on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians in 2015, and she claimed she had a very great intuition and felt energies and spirits really well. She asked if she'd ever be able to see visions like him. Henry told her that if she didn't fear her psychic abilities, then she too could become a medium. It's one of those things where you don't have to embrace, he said, but you have to choose to embrace it and kind of connect, not be afraid. That's the biggest thing. Fear is the quickest way to shut something down. You definitely need to keep keen intuition. Khloe then points to her sister Kourtney Kardashian, asking if she also has any powers. Henry says Kourtney and Khloe are the strongest intuition in the room, leaving Kim Kardashian out of the psychic club. Interesting stuff. Are ghosts still bound by NDAs or something? You know, that's another thing. His branding efforts are predictable. Are any of these spirits and contacts named Google? You know, critics call him a grief vampire. You know, this is obviously... Betty didn't see that one coming. Tyler Henry sometimes messes up with his own shtick. In an episode of season 2 of Hollywood Medium, he meets with the Real Housewives of New York star Carol Radziwill. As usual, Henry pretends to have no idea who she is. Only in time he seemingly misspeaks. I don't know what you do for a living, he says. I don't even watch much TV. Bobby Finger of Jezebel writes, that right there, that accidental revelation that he knows she's in TV, not to mention on Bravo, which is owned by NBC Universal, the same parent company as E, which airs Henry's show. I mean, of course he knows going in. Like, he wouldn't be doing an episode of celebrity mediumship, right? Or talking to celebrities about mediums if he didn't know who he was talking to. I mean, I know I'm coming across as really cynical in this video, but, you know, people swear by this guy, and I just don't get it. Henry seems to quickly cover up his misstep by saying, you may not be in TV, you could be in Broadway. This potentially revealing conversation shows that he conduct his own research before reading or being fed information prior to the session. And then obviously he talks about the vague predictions and readings. So obviously, like I said, gives out vague information and then kind of hones in on a lot of stuff. But there was another article that came out about someone who basically went to one of these like live shows, and essentially like they witnessed it firsthand. And essentially what happened was they went to this live show, and he had a few hits and a lot of misses, but a lot of the misses were cut out of the final episode of the show, which basically shows Tyler Henry is this 100% accurate clairvoyant who, without a shadow of a doubt, every single time hits it, right? And it's like, he's basically flawless. But then when people watched it live, they were like, oh, this guy's actually, like, not that great. He's not that great at all. You know, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's frustrating because obviously I can't show you the proof. If I could show you videos, I would absolutely love to and just be like, look, there's him fishing out with some really vague information. But with this knowledge, go and just watch on E if you're interested on the YouTube channel, right? You don't have to have a subscription to it. You can just watch it. Watch one of Tyler Henry's episodes and you'll see it, right? He kind of does these very vague, basic questions where it's like a sheet question where you kind of throw the sheet out and you net it in, and then, you know, chances are you're going to get something from it. That's the best way that I can describe it. Do I think he's real? No. Do I think he's genuinely talking to spirits on behalf of celebrities? No. Do I think that he's made a great career for himself out off the back of this? Absolutely. Let me know what you guys think about Tyler Henry. He might be your favourite person. You might hate me after this video. Let me know why in the comments below. I'd love to have my mind changed. Anyway, until next time, guys. Speak to you later. Peace. Peace.